All right, guys, let's go. This is the grand finals of IEM Katowice. In the bottom right, it's Reynor. He's going to be going straight out to the gold base for a hatch first. His opponent in the top left going for a more standard build. This is Serral. And this is a best of 7 to see who becomes the 2021/22 world champion. Of course, we do the grand finals, the world championship in February/March to wrap up the previous year. So I like to call this the 2021 world champion. Reynor, of course, was the 2020 world champion. Dark was the 2019 world champion before that. I know that's a little confusing, but still, it's kind of cool to see. So anyways, Serral going to go hatch gas pool, as is Reynor, but Reynor's gone for the gold base. High risk, high reward. Now, what's really in Reynor's mind here is, okay, I get a base. It gets 8 gold patches. It's a massive income boost, but it is so dangerous. It's actually so goddamn dangerous. Why? Because it's sticking out like a sore thumb. So, Serral could do a 19 drone Ling Bane timing. He could build just 1 or 2 more drones, build a Baneling Nest, make Ling Speed, and just do a giant Ling Bane flood, and it's so hard for Reynor to defend that. However, players have got very good at dropping an early Baneling Nest, walling off the mineral line. I like that Dark does it. He puts the Baneling Nest right... Is it there? I think he puts it like there. And it completely walls off that left side of the mineral line, only needs to defend the right. People put a spine crawler down, they do all this, and they do try to defend. Now, the thing is, the other build that we often see is players just walling off on 2 base and going for a big roach push, right? They just say, that's fine, you get a bit of mining, but I'm going to be greedier initially in terms of actually just pumping drones, making no Ling Speed, and then I'm going to flood out and do it that way. So it looks like Serral, continuing his droning, is not going to be doing the 19 drone Ling Bane timing. Reynor is going for double queen here. He's transferred 9 workers over to that gold base. We'll see exactly what we can do. Okay, Zergling's moving out. Serral playing a very standard game so far, but he's making Ling Speed, and he's pulled off gas. Is he going to take the gold as his third base? No, he's going to take a standard third base. Okay, Serral. He has played such good defensive games, and I think he's just going to play completely standard and look for an overreaction from Reynor. A little slow on his injects, though. Did wait a couple seconds extra there. Uncharacteristic mistake for Serral. And, okay, already we've got a Baneling Nest on the way for both players. For Reynor, that's probably defensive, but he could easily turn it into an aggressive maneuver as well. The thing is that Serral, with a closer third base, will be able to pull his queens down to defend easier. Reynor is building a third queen on the gold. He's got the Baneling Nest there. He does leave this side open. And honestly, guys, I gotta say, when he was playing Dark, Reynor got punished by this a little bit because the Banelings were able to just walk in and blow up his drones. So we'll see if Serral can do the same thing here that Dark did against Reynor in the round of 8. I really do feel putting the Baneling Nest over here, Dark style, is actually the better maneuver. After seeing both of them do it in that previous series, I was like, I think I prefer Dark's way. Just wall out the side where the sneaky Banelings come from. That being said, Serral's going to be doing sneaky Banelings from this side. So he's actually coming from the front. Meanwhile, 31 drones versus 29. Neither side has committed a massive amount to the aggression. Ling Speed's about to catch up there for Reynor. Ling goes in. He sees these 2 queens, which means these Banelings might need to wait until his opponent's a little more distracted. He's going to try to sneak some Lings across. Reynor should notice this, though. Reynor sees these Lings, and he should know that they're going to hide in the bottom left, morph Banelings, and try to roll into his mineral line. For now, though, Serral being very defensive. He's got a Baneling, a Queen going to the third, and he's just chilling. He's just chilling. And Reynor, he's going to make some Lings right now. He's also droning. It feels like Reynor's still in the lead, but wait, Banelings, 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 Banelings. He didn't even know. Oh my god, Reynor! A slow response. Luckily, they didn't stack up perfectly. 6 drones go down. That could have been 9 or 10. More Zerglings running around, though, and if they run in here, they could one-shot those Zerglings. And look at this, the Ling Bane skirmishing forward on the left side of the map, looking to come in and see if it can get into that side. Third base is up for both sides. Zerglings run in. 2 Zerglings going to go in for the finish. They get 1 drone, these wounded drones. They get 1, only 1. Baneling does have to sacrifice itself to save him, though. And there's more Banelings where that came from. These Banelings going on up here. They're going to stack up and look to dive in the mineral line, maybe waiting for when Reynor's distracted. Reynor needs to bring an Overlord if he wants to finish this. He absolutely should do so, and he will. Ling's running forward on the front. Oh my god. Okay, that Baneling not being set off very well at all by Reynor. And that's a distraction on the front while Banelings walk in the back. And this is what I was talking about with the Baneling Nest, man. Fully walling the mineral line is so nice. 5 workers go down in that pocket. And this is why you run, don't hide when Banelings are in the mineral line. If you guys are ever reborn as a drone in the Caprulu sector in a future life, this is what you need to remember. And we've got, honestly, at this point, 49 drones to 44 income advantage. Let's look at the tab. Serral ahead, Reynor ahead. Serral ahead, Reynor ahead, Serral ahead. Okay, it's back and forth. Does feel like, though, tech-wise, Serral's a bit behind. The lair is faster for... Whoa! Reynor just saw a roach moving out. He panicked and cancelled his lair. He didn't need to do that. This is a fake. This is a fake. Serral's droning. This is 3 roaches, a baneling, and 8 zerglings. Reynor thinks he's getting hit by a surprise roach baneling attack, but he's not. Oh, Serral with the mind games. This is a handful of roaches and banelings. Serral is doing a half-assed light pressure. 2 spines went down in panic. Reynor massing roaches, freaking out, going, survive, survive. And just those roaches being out a little earlier than he is freaking out. This is so rough for Reynor because he cancelled that lair that was miles ahead. And now Serral's the one who's just droned up. He's got a 10 worker lead. So not only has he found banelings in the mineral line twice to get 12 worker kills, Serral's faked him out with like, what, 6 or 7 roaches? So yeah, 7 roaches and a couple of banelings, nothing big at all. And he does find some really good damage. Now Reynor realizing, okay, more zerglings coming down there. I've got to make sure I'm ready for those. Does split some roaches off, which is nice. But Reynor sitting on 48 drones massing roaches. It feels like he's going kind of all in right now. He's building roaches, zerglings, banelings. He's going to have to bust through Serral. But Serral with an 8 worker advantage, that is the perfect safe economy lead. Because not only have they traded their income back and forth, so it's pretty even, but also it's just like 8 workers, defender's advantage. You can easily defend an 8 worker advantage. And check this out, guys. Banelings coming from behind. Reynor does deflect it this time around, but that's 4 roaches that are not with this push. He's going to try and shove. I don't think he can do it. There's just so many roaches here for Serral. Serral's only down 5 roaches overall. And remember, 4 of those roaches were chasing a baneling on the other side of the map. Reynor even walked some queens, but he's realizing now this isn't going to work. He's droned up behind it. He's adding a carapace upgrade. Now restarting his lair. This is very awkward for Reynor, and it's just because he keeps thinking that Serral's going to try to punish the gold base. And what has Serral done? He's poked with banelings a few times, found the mark somehow on both big baneling attacks. 3rd one only is the one that got blocked. And he's also gone for a light roach bane pressure. Serral has poked and prodded at Reynor and has successfully baited out massive over responses. And look at that, these zerglings even getting 2 drones as well before they go down. Serral rounding out his worker count. He's up on 60 workers and 6 gases. That is a lot of gas that he's making, so should be able to make plenty of ravages. He's also got a much faster +2 upgrade. That's going to be finishing soon, so I wouldn't mind him just shoving with +2. Go to a big attack timing. You'll have the upgrade advantage. And also, you've got roach speed, right? Roach speed will not be ready for Reynor for a long time. You might be able to hit even before that kicks in. Serral, he's hunting for the Overlord. 4 ravages, the magic count to snipe an Overlord. Reynor's dodging, though. Evasive maneuvers. Very well done. Only gets hit by 1, 2... Oh, he does get hit by 3 biles. He got a bit too fancy there. And the Queen should be able to finish that off. Overseer's going to go down to these queens if it hangs around much longer. Lots of queens coming to the front. Why is Reynor's massing queens, guys? I have noticed that Reynor is building a few more queens just as standard. We saw that in his series versus Dark, but this is crazy. 8 queens? I mean, yeah, they're a good defensive unit. Transfuse is great. I don't think it's that amazing unless you think your opponent's going mutas, though. And Serral, not as keen to go mutas as Dark. So the way it paid off against Dark, I don't think it's going to pay off for Reynor here. As much as he does love queens, and queens are a pretty decent unit when they stack up that energy, that will take some time. 56 drones to 60, so relatively even numbers. We do need to see +2 range kick in. Looks like Reynor's thinking about doing a 1-1 attack timing. Maxed on queens and roaches. He's down just a handful of workers. He's going to go for it. Roach speed not quite kicked in just yet. It's a bit awkward to not have that roach speed. Transfuse is pretty good, though, and he's going to shove forward. Uh-oh, has Serral been a bit too greedy? Has Serral been a little bit too greedy? He just might have, but wait, no, the position is good on top of the ramp. Roaches come in from the right side as well. They were going for a run-by, but he decides to pull them back. He realizes how committed this is from Reynor. Biles constantly forcing Reynor back. A lot of the roaches stuck behind each other. The queen's off creep, of course, not a very maneuverable unit. Oh, Reynor with the move command! A bit of a mistake there for him. And he does, it looks like, lose this fight. And I think with the +2 advantage, that is just going to be huge. The Ravage is holding this ramp. This is the 2nd time he's held this ramp with ease. And Serral just crushing the Reynor that bought the bait, that was unable to defend the baneling run-bys. And now Serral, he's got roach run-bys running in. He's trying to bile down these Overlords. That's why he's making a 4th Ravager there. Reynor, though, on the D, very good. Does block those roaches. He's not out of it yet. Ah, double bile does take down those 2 Overlords. Nicely done. And look at that. He says, okay, you had enough roaches to defend 5. Do you have enough to defend 16, dickhead? Dickhead, of course, a big part of Serral's vocabulary. I don't know the Finnish word for it, but my translator is very trustworthy. He's told me that's usually what he's saying when he is talking to himself during and after the match. The Roaches are going to run on up forwards, trying to get inside the main. He's just outnumbered on both fronts. Look at this. Look at this. Serral pulls way too many Roaches back and runs Pi. Reynor's going to lose his gold base. He's going to lose way too many drones, and he's got to tap out. Serral, not only damaging the gold base workers multiple times, forces an over-response. Reynor ends up kind of shepherded into an all-in. Serral blocks it, gets way ahead and wins the game. A very nice game 1 victory for Serral. All right, going into game 2 here. Bit more of a standard map. This is Berlingrad. Reynor in the bottom right, and you better watch out because his opponent is not building a drone at the start of the game. They are saving 200 minerals, and that is a 12 pool for Serral. NC Sports Serral versus Clash Gaming, Mr. Red Bull Reynor, and Serral is going to take the fight to him early on. Stacking up his workers. He should have done this a little earlier, mate. Oh, man, his mining is a bit inefficient. Serral! 3 workers split on far patches. Oh, my. Serral, what is this dirty shit, dude? There we go. Now he's going to stack a worker up. Oh, my God. He's still not stacked on the left side. Ooh, slight inefficiency. Of course, this is all about efficiency and hitting this opening as tight and sharp as possible. He's going to be going across with at least 10 Zerglings. He may also pull drones. This map is very small. He could mine open this mineral, and have, I think, a shorter rush distance than Curious Mines if he does that. I'm not sure, but I think it is that. Here we go. 3 lava popping out as the spawning pool pops out. There we go. 6 Zerglings on the way. Are we going to send drones ahead to mine open? At least 1 drone to open up one of these, surely. The question is, does he pull other drones? Yep, he's boxing him. Oh, he's pulling the boys. He's going to leave 3 drones mining, and he's going to be building 3 spine crawlers in the base of Reynor. Reynor going for a hatch pool. Oh, no, hatch gas pool. This is a bit of a greedy build for this map. A lot of players like to go for a, not this build order. A lot of players prefer to go pool first on this map because this build is so strong. It hits so hard and so fast on this map. Serral did not go ahead to mine out the other minerals. He did not want to give any early information about what he was up to. Reynor on 19 drones skips the Overlord, which is the right thing to do, and he's pulling a few drones. So these drones, he's actually losing a bit of minerals by pulling 5 whole drones this early. Interesting. He's going to try and delay the spines going down. He's trying to block right now. He doesn't want to take too much damage on these drones. He's already taken a little bit. Ooh, that 3rd spine, super late for Serral, actually. So Reynor's blocking does pay off. Notice the drones hiding in their corner, cowering right now. And you can see Reynor here trying to make sure he does not take any extra damage. He's waiting for his Zerglings. 8 Zerglings. He's also building a queen on the natural, which is where he's planning to do a bit more of the fighting. He may have to abandon the main and go down to the natural. That's often what you have to do. Drones, Zerglings coming in. He's going to go for it. Lings and drones on that spine crawl on the right. We've got a big fight on the left side, but the concaves seem to be favoring Serral a little bit. 1 spine's gone down. It looks like 1 more spine will die before it finishes, but that means the other spine will be finished and completely healthy. Reynor, he's fighting for his life. Serral with the dirty, cheesy build order. Reynor's going to evacuate. Serral's spine crawler gets a few hits on the way out. The queen, though, does kill a Zergling. This is still very close. 7 drones versus 6. These 6 drones think about going back to mining. They say, screw that. Let's go fight, mate. Serral quickly turns the spine around, tries to go back to the high ground. He's got to fight. He's going to have to fight this. But with the queen there, this feels like it's a bit of a better fight for Reynor. And oh no, I think Serral might be dead. I think Reynor might have held this. He doesn't have any money right now. He's going to return those 2 minerals. That'll allow him to build 2 Zerglings. Ooh, he takes a little bit of damage doing so. Spinecrawler's almost died. Queen is there. She's got 1 transfuse. Of course, you can only transfuse a very shitty unit in this situation, but she did just kill 1 of Serral's drones. What can she transfuse? A drone or a Zergling? Maximum 39 hit points value she's going to be getting. Not a big deal, that transfuse. 2 more Zerglings come out, but the Zerglings are still being built right now. 14 versus 6 in favor of Serral. A lot of them aren't here just yet, but look at that. The queen, she's going to do some tanking. The Zerglings, nice transfuse on a Zergling from Reynor. Reynor hanging on for dear life right now. The Zerglings for Serral, though, outnumber him, and the Zerglings are going after the queen. They get her. The Zerglings take out the queen. There's only 1 drone left for Reynor and 3 Zerglings. He has no more production, whereas the stream of Zerglings still coming out for Serral, and that should do it. Serral with these Zerglings overwhelms, cheeses out Reynor in game 2, and rushes to a 2-0 advantage in this grand finals. Alright guys, going into game 3, he just 3-0'd his semi-final like a Chad gamer. He dominated, man, and now he is here 2-0 up in the grand finals. What an absolute monster. He's looking so strong in this matchup. This is Serral. And his opponent in the bottom right, it's Reynor, who's going to be sending that drone out just for a normal hatchery. Oh my god, neither of them risking taking the gold base this game. Okay, this is going to be interesting to see where this goes. I actually have no memory of this game. We were just discussing with my Twitch stream. They're like, wow, you really sound like you haven't seen this game before, but like you cast this live. And I was like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, dude, what happened on Blackburn? I have no idea. I actually have no idea. What can I say? The memory only has so much space. Hatchery, gas, pool. Pool there to kind of block the spines, I guess. Yeah, both of them kind of putting it further forward. Interesting that Serral did leave a bit of a space there, though. Now, Mutalisks are not terrible on this map. They're really not something I see like Mutaling Bane that much. That's just because you don't have many attack angles. You've got here and then here. And they're right next to each other. So a 3-base player can defend Ling Bane very easily. I mean, yes, your Mutas can dive into the main base, you know, get in there. But even there, if there's creep and spores out on the edge, you're coming through a slow zone into it. And then there's a long distance to get into the drones and a long way out. It's a very dangerous maneuver to be making. So even if you do see mutas, it's usually a handful of mutas back into the roach play on this map. And the Overlord does go down here for Reynor a little bit earlier. Serral starting it after the Queen, so he squeezes one drone out just a little bit faster. Says, get mining, bro! Get mining, bro! Got 4 drones there in the natural. 18 in the main. 18 up there as well. Got a drone heading up towards the 3rd base right now. 3rd base or gold base? Gold base. Oh, gold base first, 3rd base. Okay, so Serral's going to go gold. Reynor's going to go normie. And what a role reversal this is. I mean, it's a 3rd hatch, so still not the most crazy. But he's going to be going up here and spotting that in the near future. Will Reynor? Does he put on Ling Bane pressure to try to punish it? I feel like it's... You know, it can pay off, but I always feel like the 3rd hatch is almost like a liability still. Just because it is so exposed to Ling Bane run-bys. I mean, I expect probably an Evo chamber or something over here. You know, wall off the left side. Could definitely be the way to do it. And big thank you, Big Cheesy, for the sub. Thank you, mate. That's a year. Hot damn. Nice anniversary. Alright, guys. What do we got? Bane Nest? Yeah, just very safe Bane Nest timings. Notice 30 seconds ago this went down. That's actually super safe. So we're getting both players taking it very fast. Reynor's a few seconds slower, and they both are making Ling Bane. 31 drones for Serral, 28 for Reynor. They are going to be clashing in the near future. Reynor needs to build an Overlord right now because he is going to be supply blocked in a moment. Lings do block those Zerglings. Roach Warren and an Evo Chamber go down for Serral. Interesting. That's a very early Roach Warren for a guy who knows he's probably going to be Ling Bane skirmishing in the near future. Does make me think maybe a Rogue or Dark style quick Roach Bane attack could be coming out. Oh, okay. Lings do start aggroing on the Baneling. And here we go. Ling's trying to get up here to defend. Serral does have a Baneling nearby. Oh, Reynor does trade 2 Banelings for 1. I don't know if that's worth it. If he clicks the hatchery, maybe, but no. He's going to have to back right off there. The extra Banelings come in and, oh, not bad engagements from Serral. They're not like the game-ending Baneling busts by any means, but, oh, that drone barely survives. He's going to go back for it. You know Reynor can't resist a red hit point drone. Gets it. Very nicely done. Reynor, 38 workers, only 31 for Serral. Carapace does start up, which tells us Reynor planning a big attack. Serral, he's going a quick Roach Warren, remember? I mean, that does complete the wall off, so maybe it's just for safety, but no, he's building roaches. Serral's going to go all in off 31 drones. Problem for him is that Reynor's build, the Carapace build, rarely goes past 45 workers. And you can see he stopped on 43. He's making some Ling Bane. His Roach Warren is very late, though. I feel like that's a mistake from Reynor, just being a little sloppy on that Roach Warren timing. We'll see exactly how it goes from there. As, oh, Shizzle Fizz. We've got to give you guys some big thank yous for the subs. Those watching live after this game, we're going to give you guys a massive waves of thanks. But let's keep focused on the commentary for it now. Extra drones coming in. Where did that happen? Banelings from the left. Only 2 drone kills. Now notice Serral has not put a lot of drones out here. So he's trying to basically mitigate risk by not overcommitting to the gold. But that means his economy, only 29 drones. He's coming out with 11 roaches. 2 spines building for Reynor. And Reynor, look at this mature decision. Because he's overdroned massively. He's at almost double the worker count, 50 workers. But if he can defend this wall off, that's going to be great. I actually wish that spine was even a little further back. He's also got Zerglings running in. Another 2 drones going down. Oh my god, Serral's down to just 27 workers. Make it 26. The Zerglings get 3 workers, kill the queen, and then they evac. The roaches are going to have to try and breach this ramp. But look at this. The queens and the banes holding on like champions. Transfuse is good. He's going to have to use the banelings. I think he's got to use the banelings. Oh my god. Reynor does get some really good hits on a few Zerglings and weakens a lot of the roaches. The spine crawlers come up. Reynor, he's got to frantically hold. If he holds, it's so far beyond game over. This is completely all in. The banelings, they should have detonated. They should have blown that spine up. They decide to go after the drones now. They do take out the queen and some drones. There's not many roaches left though. There's only 5 roaches in a Ling rally. He's got to surround these roaches of Reynor and kill them. Serral, get in there, Serral, get in there. He does overwhelm, but the spine crawler, dude, that spine crawler on top takes its 7th kill. It's tossing Zergling corpses all over the place. It finally falls, but it took so much of a beating. And Reynor realizes that off such a low economy, Serral needed to do more than kill the 3rd. He needed to break him. Reynor pulls behind the wall, uses that wall off those spines to buy time fantastically, and he's back in this series. All right, guys, let's go. It is time for game 4. And this man, well, we saw what happens when he gets on that comeback train. The momentum can be very hard to slow down. One game, not really a train just yet, but it's the beginning. This is Reynor, representing Clash Gaming and Red Bull Esports. His opponent at the bottom left, that is Serral. Ents is actually sponsored by Red Bull now. I was like, he doesn't have the primo personal Red Bull sponsorship though, you know? I also saw Reynor advertising like a car recently on Instagram. Did he get given a car? If anyone knows if he got given a car, please let me know. I forgot to ask him at Katowice. I remember seeing an Instagram post where he's like, "Oh, the new car is getting delivered tomorrow." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "My God, if he's getting given cars by sponsors, then that's just awesome." Who knows? Maybe, yeah, that would be sick. I would be so happy as well. I do want to see StarCraft players just get given homes. Wouldn't that be the best? They're like, "Oh, we're a home building company. We're gonna build you a house, and then you can just like do a tweet every now and then of a picture of you in the house and like have our hashtag." I'd be like, "Reynor, this is a pretty good deal. You should do it." We have been straddling 666 viewers on the live viewership all day today. Even after a giant Scarlet raid, it almost immediately dropped down the moment we had a break, right back to 666. It's actually weird. I don't know. I did say Hail Satan earlier today, and now I feel like it's some weird karmic stuff that's coming to get me. But anyways, this is game 4 of this grand finals, and so far, Ling speed on both sides. Pulled one off gas, pulled one off gas. Very standard openings. Both going to go for that 3rd base in a straight line along the base. Obviously, this is a best of 7, so yep, we've had that scoreboard wrong. My bad. Been casting a ton of best of 5s today. Speed, Baneling Nest on the way. Queen's just kind of moving out around the base right now. Okay, this is going to be the point where we see, keep an eye on that production tab. Both building an Overlord. What happens after that tells us a lot. Remember, the previous Ling Bane aggression we've seen from these guys has been a lot of 29-31 drone Ling Bane aggression. We'll see exactly which way they go from there, though. Still not back on gas for Reynor. Serral is back on gas. Likelihood of mutas intensifies in the follow-up, not to mention Speedling aggression. Speedling, Baneling aggression, definitely something that could come in. Overlords at the front for both players. Now, notice that Reynor does not have vision on the backdoor path. This right-hand side path, he didn't put an Overlord out here yet. Serral has. Reynor's actually a little slow on getting his Overlords out on the map. I think that's because Serral skipped the Overlord outside his base. And Reynor did as well, though. He's put one here. He does see the Ling Flood coming. He's got 4 Banes morphing. And there's only 2 Banelings that have actually morphed for Serral, and they're back at home. So Serral's just going to go for the snipe on the 3rd. He won't get it, of course. And there we go. 3 Zerglings for a Baneling went down, I believe. And, oh, Baneling does get taken out. Damages the drones, but no actual kills. Serral did morph those 2 Banelings on the right side of the map. I missed that. Sorry, guys. And look at that. Banelings defending the drones. Well done, well done. Zerglings on the left do get a nice little fight. He's going to try and defend his Overlord. Oh, no, get out of there, Overlord. Ah, that Overlord's dead. He's going to have to give it up, is Serral. Both sides start +1 at identical moments. A few more drones out for Reynor, though. The defensive player Does take an edge. And this is good for Reynor. Just solidly defending, getting to the next stage. This is the sort of thing he's going to need to do. Remember, Serral, he got a 2-0 lead, but his second game was a cheese. That last game, he tried to force it with a 30 drone all-in off the gold base. And these builds have had a very low success rate versus Reynor in this tournament. I mean, think of the Dark games. Dark was trying to hit him with a lot of these surprise 30 drone roaches go. And I mean, it was in the late game where Dark would draw it back and still make it a close game and win the games. But it was the initial roach banes just weren't working. Reynor has been impervious to the 25, 30, 35 drone roach bane attacks. He has not been hit by a single one successfully. So Serral definitely, I think, wants to be going lair this time. As I say that he builds 4 roaches. Now, we've seen a lot of fake pressures, remember, in this tournament, guys. And a lair does start, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, lol, let's just go 4 roaches and that's it. Oh my god, he built a lair in the natural, which means the Zergling sees it. That's really bad if you're actually droning, which he is. Ah, that's free information. That's real bad. Reynor hiding his in the main base. That's a much better way to do it. That Zergling poked forward and barely saw it. About 5 Zerglings for 1 Baneling. Good trade. For those who don't know, an even trade is 3 Zerglings for 1 Baneling. So you get 4, you get 5. That is a very good trade. Baneling's on the left side. Going to be coming in right now. Okay, Zergling's looking to continue distracting. The roaches coming across are a little bit of a fake out. He's shown some roaches leaving. Now that's going to prompt Reynor to build a bunch of roaches of his own, but look at how mature this is. He already had a spine. He builds 5 roaches, goes straight back to droning, and drops a spire. Chad Gamer Reynor. The lings on the right were distracting him, but despite the distraction, he does well. And look at that. What are you going to get? 2 drones? I mean, the Banelings don't want to settle for just 2 workers, but he's going to have to take it. Spire is 1/3 of the way complete for Reynor. Just coming up on that. +2 range, a little bit quicker for Serral. I find it really hard to judge where we are in this game and exactly who's ahead, because he's actually going Spire as well. Serral. Ooh, no Overseer? Really? He's not scouting? He's just like, I'm going to go Mutas. But they're both going Mutas, and that's a problem right now. The Lings are going to go for this around the Roaches, but the Spinecrawler's there. Ain't going to be able to get nothing. You ain't going to get nothing. 4th base goes down at similar time. This is a very mirror match. This here is, once again, mirror on the wall. Who will be the greatest Zerg of them all? And I mean, it's also the greatest player of them all, because this is a World Championship Grand Finals. And it is also $100,000 difference between 1st and 2nd place, which is super brutal. It's 170k for 1st, 70k for 2nd. It's insane. Correct me if I'm wrong, people in Twitch. I'm pretty sure those are the exact numbers. Maybe it was 75 or 80, but it's close to $100,000 difference. It's kind of insane. 6 Mutas are on the way for Reynor right now. Both sides are going to be roaching pretty hard, but notice that Reynor's already up 10 workers. Remember that Serral is not a player who likes to play fast and loose with his droning. He likes to get the right units, use them effectively, and then go from there. But Reynor's already got a nice worker lead. He's adding more workers and double gas on the 4th. And the Lings are going to see the Mutas coming out. That's very good for him. Baneling completely whiffs for Reynor. He detonated that manually in the middle of nowhere. And the drones and the Queen will deflect. Very nicely done. Overlords are going to go down on the map. This is a good start for Reynor, just picking up some Overlords. And Corruptors are going to come out. Roach Corruptor, a style which I abhor. I do not like Roach Corruptor. It's definitely worked before, even against Reynor. I've seen him do it. But it's just, it's hard, especially because Reynor's already got the 8 gases up, so he can build a crazy number of Mutas. And getting the denial on these drones on the 4th, that's a very good start. Just this little bit of momentum. The Mutas being out a little earlier than Serral's Corruptors does make things hard for him. Oh! That micro from Serral, that smooth stutter step and focus fire. Oh my god, his Corruptor micro is actually legit. Oh, but he does lose a Corruptor there. It's 2 Mutas for 1 Corruptor so far. Serral's on 75, Reynor, sorry, is on 75 workers, going to 80. Serral desperately needs to get this workers saturated on this base. And we've got to ask ourselves, what's the next step? Because it's equal roach upgrades. You have more roaches, but you haven't been able to use them just yet. Do you just max out and go? Roach Corruptor A move. A lot of the time, the Mutas will eventually beat the Corruptors in a fight because the Corruptors are so tanky. With that 2 base armor, they take so long to die. By the time the Corruptors lose to the Mutas, the Roaches have won the fight on the ground. So that's usually what you're looking for. Is Serral going to do it that way? I'm not quite sure. The Mutas are coming in, though. They are starting to pick off some units. The Corruptors are there. Remember that Corruptors aren't too slow these days. They're such a fast unit compared to they used to be. They used to be very immobile. Oh, Mutaverse Corruptor trades going on right now. Transfuser's coming in though, and a Spore Crawler as well, and that was a bit of an overextension. 8 Mutas for 3 Corruptors have gone down. So definitely Reynor overextending, but there we go, he turns around. He's hoping to catch Serral, a little bit overextended. Meanwhile though, Lings are gonna run into the base, a little bit of hold position to kill a few of these drones. These Lings are basically free at this stage, and the Roach is skirmishing in the middle at the same time. 8 drones go down, a very nice victory there for Reynor. Anything to slow down the economy as he takes his 5th base, 2 more gases, and honestly very slow to get +1 attack for the Mutas. He starts it now. I assumed that it already finished, but dude, that's kind of crazy. Not to mention 15 Corruptors going on 20. 20 Corruptors? Surely it's worth getting an armor or an attack upgrade here with the Corruptors as well. They do 14 damage a shot, so I think you only get +1 versus non-massive units. So I do think armor is going to be way more valuable. And, oh, 2 Ravagers sniped. Reynor dives through, one-shots him. And there we go, he gets a Corruptor. Well done, but uh-oh. Corruptors aren't too far behind. Look at that smooth shoot and move that Serral's been doing. The Roaches are going to have the advantage here for Serral, but it's a distraction. Zerglings running in over there on the left side. The Muta Corruptor fight is so close right now. We can keep an eye on the units tab as the Lings do get in. They take out a Queen there. They get in the mineral line. Back on the other side, the Mutas and the Corruptors are still fighting. I think the Corruptors might be winning this battle, but I'm not sure by how much. A lot of drones did already go down. Roaches in the bottom. Serral does win that fight. The Mutas and the Corruptors are still trading out here in the middle. 13 Mutas versus 10 Corruptors on the map. It's so darned close. Still, these Zerglings in the main not being microed by Reynor. Maybe could have got a few more workers with those. And it looks like the Mutas do back off. 30 Mutas for 20 Corruptors. Pretty awful trades for Reynor, you might think, but remember that Reynor has had the aggressive position, the mobility, and a higher worker count pretty much this entire game. A Roach Corruptor counterattack coming out of Serral right now. He's going to try and stutter step back with the Corruptors and just waste time on the Mutas while the Roaches go in to do the damage. Those Roaches need to get in there and do that damage though. But Reynor, he's not even defending. He's going for broke right now, and he does target down the Baneling. Ling's getting into all these bases. The Corruptors will get overwhelmed. He's having to pull back his Roaches. No, Serral, I don't think you could afford to pull your Roaches back, but I guess with this number of Zerglings coming in, he feels he needs to because his third is getting ransacked. Zerglings desperately trying to hold the natural, not able to do so. He does get in, but he only kills 2 drones. Look at this, Reynor pulls behind the spines. The Muta's cleaning up those Roaches. The Lings just absolutely ransacking Serral's main. And oh, dude, Serral's drones are all refugees at this point. They're just running around, desperately trying to find a place of safety. And Reynor's being a massive dick. How has he still got Lings alive? He split the Lings into all 4 bases while Serral's entire army was on the other side of him, and that is such a good way to deal with a situation where these Lings, they don't have any upgrades. They suck versus the Roaches and the Queens and whatnot in a head-to-head fight. But he says, nope, that's fine. Go around, go for the workers. Let my Mutas do the work. They will overwhelm the Corruptors and do 24 versus 10. These are not the numbers Serral wants, especially not with that +1 weapons there. There is actually a carapace upgrade finish for Serral at this point, but I don't know if that's going to matter this deep into this game because the Lings have breached the main one more time. The Mutas are still luring these Corruptors out into the open. More Lings flooding in from all sides. And Serral, his Roach Corruptor counterattack gets jumped on. The Zerglings split into every single base, and it all crumbles ever so quickly. Reynor ties up the series 2-2. Alright everybody, let's go into map number 5. We have a series on our hands. In the bottom left side, we've got a beast, a monster, a Finnish phenom. This is Serral. Up here in the top right, in the blue, it's Reynor. Actually, oh my god, guys, I just remembered. So someone earlier today, I think it was Activillain in my chat, he said, what sort of war song does Serral, or what sort of song does Serral sing before battle? And it was a Finnish hymn. A Finnish hymn. Finish him! I literally almost died. I was like, this is the greatest, worst pun of all time. All the dads around the world have come to a standstill, and they must respect and appreciate this terrible pun. A Finnish hymn, indeed. I can actually imagine Serral singing, you know, kind of softly, but with a bit of soul, bit of spirit in his native tongue. The gas in the pool there is going down for both sides. We're on glittering ashes, also known as glittering asses. And that is, for those who don't know, because these beetles on the map, these little fiery scarab things, actually have a big spike sticking out of their booty. So it is glittering asses. Because actually, to be fair, these guys do actually have glittering asses. They do. Any more over here? Where are they? There we go. They kind of do. They got a little fire booty. They got a little fire booty there. To be real, though, it is a big map with a big spread on it. I know some people say mutas are really bad here for different reasons. I think mutas are amazing on this map. I think Mutiling Bane, upgraded Zerglings are so good here. However, I think a lot of people do like to bring out all sorts of weird strategies. You know, you think about just the power of this map, it being so big, is you get very spread out. So mobility is big. That's why Mutiling Bane, lots of ways to get in, quick to get across the map. Of course, whenever I think about big giant maps, I'm always like, well, a Nidus Worm is good. On this map, it's also pretty far away. The edge of your main base is where we sometimes do see a Nidus Worm come down. So that's an option. Straight up defensive play into Lurker Viper can be good. I think of Serral dropping that map in the next finals to Lambo on this map up against a double Lurker Den build. And that was just sick. That was so cool. A double Lurker Den build to rush the upgrades, both at the same time, and hit a ridiculously fast Lurker timing while pretending that he was maybe going mutas, maybe going roaches, keeping it really hard for Serral to guess. And I thought that was a very cool series. I really do feel that, you know, often people out there just want to copy whatever the best player in the world is doing. And you know what? Lambo is a very high-level player, but I think he has a bigger influence on the meta and the understanding than you might realize if you're just watching the semis and the grand finals of every tournament. Especially in this matchup, he's got a great understanding. I know he talks to these guys like Serral and Reynor a lot. And definitely something to keep in mind. Very cerebral approach. And he's a player who even did a literal public video breaking down that series versus Serral and his mindset in every game and how he prepared and how he, you know, guessed Serral would do this, so he did that. Or he knew Serral would probably think he would do this, so he'd counter it with that. So he was going to counter the counter. It was really cool to see an insight into the mindset of a very high-level Zerg who went to that Game 7 in that Grand Finals against Serral. +1 range on the way for Reynor. Now, for those who aren't too familiar, Serral is a bit of a quieter lad. He's got a very, very dry sense of humor. Reynor's a bit more in your face with the banter and the shit talk. Constantly, he's got that kind of very cocky attitude. And it's funny because I love him. I think Reynor is just one of the most bubbly personalities out there. But what I've noticed is that some people really hate him. He's arrogant. I don't like him. And my theory, and you guys can let me know, maybe you have a different reason, but I feel like there's just something about that chilled out, fun, jocular sort of attitude that he has. I think it triggers people because that's kind of how their bullies acted in high school. And oh, what did he just cancel? Okay, I think he accidentally had misplaced his Roach Horn, so he cancels it, puts it in a different position. But anyway, that's my theory is Reynor just seems too bro-y. And he's just too bro-y. People are like, man, that's the dickheads in high school acted like that. That's my theory, because I see a lot of people commenting online. I'm sure it's a minority, but it's a vocal minority who are just like, screw him and his confidence. Ooh, Spire. Okay, so we're going to see mutas out of Serral, and he's going 5 more workers and melee for Reynor. Oh, Spire versus Spire again, guys. Melee upgrade starts for Reynor. So we're going to see Spire versus Spire. Oh, this is super cool. Okay, so we're going to see just both players going away from the Roach style. Well, I mean, Serral's still got +1, so I think it's going to be mutas, just a handful. 5 to 10 mutas into Roaches, and still playing. You can see he does start up Roach speed. Now, he spots the double gas of Reynor. That's all you need to know to see that he's definitely, where are the Roaches? I haven't seen a single one. You know, you've got double gas. I'm pretty sure Serral at this point is convinced he's up against mutas, and we see an infestation pit and a second Evo chamber. Reynor is playing mass upgraded Zerglings into Fast Hive. Reynor, your troll build's called and they want their fucking build back, not in the grand finals of a world championship. Guys, this is a troll build. This is not, this is crazy. Now, okay, this actually kind of works in the same way that Lambo build I mentioned, where it looks like you're doing something, but you're doing something else, right? So there's that part which makes logical sense. The question is, upgraded Zerglings, double upgrade Zerglings is insane. This is like literally good for doing run-bys and base trades, and you cannot beat Roach's front on. Now, the problem is for Serral, he hasn't seen a single Roach. He's seen lots of gases. He sees the 4th base in a moment as well, which is going to convince him, yeah, you're definitely like, oh, look at all these Lings running out. So he's going to be assuming this is mutas. And instead, there's a Hive going down. And does Reynor just go Infest to Ultra? Does he go Viper Infest, Viper Ultra? I mean, there are some crazy builds that he could do from here, but Either way, his mid game is so vulnerable. If Serral were to hold down the Roach key and A move, Reynor would die. This is an insane gamble. Serral would not, in 100 years, take this gamble himself. He would never do it. Only a guy like Reynor, who's a much bigger risk taker, much more carefree, would do it. Serral does not like gambling like that, and I've talked to him a lot in the past, and he's admitted. I mean, we had him on my pig show a couple years back, and he admitted, he was like, I just get triggered when people gamble versus me, and rather than trying to actually beat me, you know? And I'm like, dude, do you get triggered every time you play a ZvZ? Because everyone gambles versus you because you're so hard to beat. And he was like, oh, no, they don't, you know? Yes, they do. Reynor's doing it to you in the grand finals. He's trying to pull out some cheeky bullshit, mate. No, you can't. He gets it. Are you kidding me? Reynor gets the snipe on the 4th base. And not only that, Serral's just built 9 Corruptors. This is they're useless. There's no air unit. And he's playing double Lurkiden. He's doing the Lambo build. Except he's doing it with Zergling upgrades instead of Roaches. What the? Reynor has taken Lambo's build, but he's adding some troll shit to it. He's literally adding some troll shit. This is the thing that Risky and Reynor were doing a couple years ago. Ling Lurker, there was like 2 weeks where a bunch of people were trying to copy them. No one could pull it off in ZvZ except Reynor. Reynor kept insisting it was a good build order, and everyone was like, that is the dumbest build we've ever seen. What's so great, though, is the Lings just kind of tank, but they can also surround, hold the enemy in place, and your Lurkers burrow on them, and you kill them. So that actually can work amazingly. The Corruptors, they've realized they have no purpose. He's like, what the fuck do I do? Serral will dive in and kill this 4th base. The Queen Hydra is going to try to defend it. These Hydras don't have upgrades, so they're a very bad unit, but there are Hydras in the main, which means the Corruptors, even though they've been doing the Dew, they've been drinking Mountain Dew all day long at their LAN party, they finally unzip their fly. Oh my god, are they going to get the kill? Are they going to get the kill? It's worth it. Hold it. Hold the stream. Hold the stream. It's worth it. He's going to get it. He gets the hatch snipe. The Roaches run in and start killing Hydras, but the Lings run in, counterattack, cancel his 4th one more time. Serral is essentially all in on Roaches right now because there is double Lurkiden upgrades on the way. So the thing is, though, Reynor's fighting with unupgraded Hydras. They don't have attack upgrades, but most importantly, no range, no muscular organs. Serral's Queens have walked across the map. This game is so fucking random at this point. Lurkers are here. The Hydras do deflect the Roaches. And Serral, he's only on 3 bases. The Lings have been such a nuisance. He's got to rebuild a 4th and a 5th. He's trying to make a hive so he can get Vipers to counter this. His Corruptors have hidden in the back of the base. The Lurkidens are looking mighty exposed right now. And he's been smashing more Mountain Dew. He's been sculling more Mountain Dew. Oh my god, the Queens and Hydras are nowhere near. They're going to take way too long to get up there. The upgrades, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And completed! Transfuse is barely letting the second one finish. They both finish. Yes, the Lurkidens go down, but he's already more 15 Lurkers. They now have double upgrades. And oh my god, Reynor, you absolute savage. You troll savant. What the fuck? Who does this in a grand final? Seriously. Oh no, Serral! He's distracted because Lings just ran into his base. He runs into the Lurkers. Here's more Lurkers. He's not done. Lings don't quite get the infestation bit, but they're tearing apart the drones. He burrows the Lurkers on the 3rd. Serral taps out, and he knows he has just been completely toyed with. Holy shit, Reynor taking the lead and only 1 game from winning the grand finals. From down 0-2 to up 3-2, 1 game from winning the entire thing. He's a dirty boy with a bad habit. Bad habit for gambling at the right time and finding success with it. This is Reynor. Oh man, what a sick game that was. And that is the sort of game that can break the mentality of someone like Serral who does not like when his opponent gambles versus him. Bottom left, NC Sports Serral. Should be stacking workers on this close patch. Hasn't done it just yet. Very high pressure moment in this tournament. There we go. Oh, bit of a misclick with that drone, but he gets it on there eventually. Hatch first versus hatch first. Very standard opening so far. Now, okay, we've already seen that Serral, he got mega mind gamed that last game, but we also see that if he's going against Mutas, is going to play Corruptors. Now, this is a very big map, hard for Corruptors to get across. If Reynor feels confident that he can repeat what happened on Hardwire, I think this would be a great time to bring Mutas out. You just faked Mutas, now go real Mutas. He's not going to be super confident after that last game. It's going to be hard for him to make the read. So I think that would be a really good play from Reynor. For Serral, on the other hand, Lurkers, Vipers lock things down. Just like the safest Roach game of all time. Scout with Overseers, Scout with Overlords. Like, just macro your way upwards, I think is the way to play for him. That being said, I mean, the thing is, if you are playing against mutas, right, you get a third here, a fourth here. A little hard to defend. So there's up the guts, right angle, and extreme left, as well as kind of up the guts of this base as well. Quite a lot of attack angles that can come in. Reynor with the spawning pool, as well as Serral, both placed to block spawning pool placement in case there was a 12-pool drone pool rush. It just makes it harder for spines to be placed in this position where they can reach the minerals on the low ground. A lot of the time, if you do get spine crawler rushed, anything to delay those spine crawlers going down can be really awesome. Overlord's going to poke in the natural as well. Going to try and pull on back. Zergling speed is on the way. You got the Overlord there popping out. And have we pulled off gas? One off gas, one off gas. Very standard openings. They're both just going to go for a third base. See the drone moving out there, drone moving out there. Identical openings so far. This is solid Zerg versus Zerg. Dropping that third hatch. Now, interesting, that was like a 31 third hatch. More like 32 for Serral. So his squeezes a few more units in. Does build it just a couple seconds later. And Zergling's going to start to work on that base. These Zerglings will come back for Reynor, not prioritizing scouting or anything like that. Just going to make sure he defends that hatchery. Doesn't have to bring the queen all the way out. Interesting. Reynor moves out a little too far with that queen. I guess he wants to make it hard to scout the Baneling nest. But seeing a third hatchery basically tells you your opponent will 90% of the time go a Baneling nest. Occasionally they'll do a big Ling Flood and skip the Baneling nest and go straight to roaches behind it. But that is a little bit rarer. Okay, what do we got? 2 Zerglings move to the left. More queens on the way. So both sides going to be going to 3 queens at almost the same time. Handful of Zerglings. This is just super defensive play. They're both just getting a handful of Lings for defense. No offense whatsoever. And the first scout's going to try to get in. Reynor, he's going to try and see what he can do. What is Serral up to? Can he get past? 4 Lings block him. He pulls back. Serral, on the other hand, he's also going to try to get in. He's thinking about it. Will he get past? No, look at that. There's a bunch of Zerglings on duty as well as the queen. What we know, though, as the observers, is a very quick lair went down. Reynor may be dropping a second gas momentarily if he's going for those mutas. Serral starts a pretty quick lair as well. That's going to give him a very quick overseer scout to see what he's up against. So I think Serral here, he drops the second gas as well. He could also be going Spire, but he does start +1 range. Could just be a safety lair for Overseer, though. Roachhorn gets misplaced. Twice! Did he just cancel that twice? Reynor! Oh, my lord. Place your buildings correctly, mate. That was, oof, a little dirty there. He just cancelled his Roachhorn twice to get it put in the correct position. I mean, the wall-off is important, but just a bit of sloppiness on his part. He's gone second and third gas right now. Does not have the gas mining on that one just yet. And the Lings are pulling back both sides. Very even in workers. A little bit of a supply block for Reynor as well. A little bit of sloppiness entering his play. I think both sides are worried that they can't really nail down what the other guy's going for. 12 drones on the third for him. Just 5 for Reynor. But he's got 10 more drones about to pop out right now. Serral, his lair is almost finished. This is actually really tense because look at that. The Zerglings keep getting killed. They're so desperate to check what the other guy is doing. And neither one's been able to breach the natural yet. And that's important because these could be fake drones transferring out. You don't know if these are real or not. It's very hard to tell. He sees a gas, a second gas going down on the third. He's already got his up as well, so that looks kind of standard. A Spire is going down for Reynor. So Reynor wants to go mutas into roaches. You can see because he's got roach speed +1. So he's going to play roach muta, and he's droning up really hard. 66 workers. Serral, on the other hand, is going to take a 5th gas geyser. He's just making roaches, and he's still making Zerglings. Now, that's really interesting. The Zerglings, for me, is fascinating. I don't know if that's Serral trying to pretend he's playing Lings and mutas himself, just by continuing to show. Has Reynor maybe not seen the roaches? Maybe not. Overlord up here is in a bit of a dicey position. Does get taken down there. Meanwhile, that Overseer is forced back. And look at this, he's still pressuring with Zerglings. I feel like he must have seen roaches. And Nidus Worm's going to go down there. The Ling pressure does come on in. You can get a few drones if you focus fire as well. Look at that nice stacking in the mineral patch for Reynor. But he does lose 1-2 drones. Make it 4 drones go down. Baneling's not getting the best hits there for Reynor. And look at that, Nidus Worms coming up, 63 drones versus 52. How many roaches are you going to build, mate? +1, a mass of roaches. He's going to start moving out down the left side with some of these roaches, and he's going to try and throw a Nidus Worm up here by the looks of it. He's going to be just barreling across this map. He doesn't have many queens, so he cannot fight the 5 Mutalisks, but those 5 Mutas are just a little too late. If they were already out working on this, I'd feel a lot better for Reynor. Right now, he's massively outnumbered. 8 Roaches to 24, and that Nidus Worm, if that gets up, it's huge. The Roach is securing the position. Drone's trying to abandon the third base. Serral sensed that his opponent wanted to play Mutalisks here. He said, let's commit to it. A big committed 52 drone Nidus Worm, and you see here, Reynor's trying to build spines. He's even building a Spore, which has got to be a panic misclick at this point. The Roaches and the Queens coming out. Is he even going to bring drones, maybe? He's got Queens trying to fight the Mutas. Their goal is not to beat the Mutas, but just to distract them. He's actually got transfuses, so it'll work. The Roach number is just absolutely overwhelming, and Serral is going to smash through this. Wow, a decisive build for game number 6. And he ties it up and forces this final 7th map to decide who's going to be the next world champion. Well, it all comes down to this moment, this map, and it's a small one. It's an action-packed one. It's a scary one. I'm sure both players are feeling a little tense going into this game. It is Serral. In the top left, the blue Zerg. This is Reynor. Hatch first, hatch first. Maybe. Do we see a pool first? Nope. Nope. Both of them going to go for hatchery first. Dude, this is so tense because how do you choose to play in the final game? This is such a good map to play like a Carapace Roach attack. We've seen so much of that this tournament, and I think if you do that, you probably don't want to commit too hard. I don't know. It's so hard to read what's going to be happening on both sides. Definitely a map where it's harder to get into things like Mutalisks. Roach War's very common on a map like this where you don't have a lot of space to work with. Rock solid, meaty units are often going to be the one you choose. We've got a spawning pool right there. There is $100,000 on the line for this map. Whoever wins it gets $170,000. The loser, $70,000. That's, man, I don't know if I could handle that pressure personally. I don't think I'd be performing my A game. These guys, despite being so young, 23, Serral, and I think Reynor at this point is probably, I don't know. He turned 16 in 2018, right? So he should be 20, 21 now. Somewhere about there. A couple years younger than Serral. Of course, Serral won the World Championship 4 years ago when he was just 19 years old. Reynor won his World Championship a year ago at about 19 as well, 19, 20. So both of these guys, absolute prodigies of the game, and a big argument for why Zerg is overpowered, honestly. If it wasn't for these two guys, I really feel like there'd be a lot of consensus almost. People are like, man, Zerg is not a great race. And then you have Serral and Reynor, and they're like, yep, you can. I mean, when those two combine forces with Dark and Rogue in the Korean scene, you're like, there is a huge drop-off in terms of consistency of performance after these guys, but they have just so damned consistent, so high level, so good in every single matchup. And we talk about how like Korean Zerg versus Zerg is pretty boring because it's just lots of like all-ins thrown at each other. You watch Serral, Reynor, you watch also though the top two Koreans, Dark and Rogue as well. I think it's just like, it's a different type of Zerg when you watch the top 4 Zerg players. And I feel kind of bad that I'm leaving like Solar out of there because Solar is very, very good as well. But I feel like just he's barely below that absolute cusp that these guys sit on. This cliff up above the rest of the Zergs. Reynor is at 27 workers, Serral at 26 right now. And you know Serral wants this championship. This is the one trophy that has completely eluded him in his career. Reynor won it last year. Serral has never won at Katowice. The year when he was meant to win, well, he lost his Zest Adept Printer. It was a surprising, sad event. A tournament where none of us really expected Zest to do that well. And he said, hey, there's this unit called the Adept. And when you do it just like this, it is so hard to stop. He taught us how good Adepts could be. They've been a regular mainstay of the meta since then. Falling out of massive popularity and dominance, but still being mixed into most best of 5s at least one game. Zerglings are still dancing about. That's a big pack of defensive Zerglings. This is so Serral to build like 15 Zerglings and just sit at home and deny scouting with them. Everyone else would say, you know, that the standard logic is I make units, I need to pressure to make him build units so that he doesn't get ahead on drones. Serral's like, no, just going to sit there. It's fine. And that is, it's his attitude. He just wants to be rock solid here. He just wants to survive. Both sides go for a Roach Warren. +1, a few seconds ahead for Reynor. Reynor up 4 drones. I'd say the opening looks good for him so far. He's building a very small lead for himself, but a consistent lead as his drone count continues to grow just a little faster than Serral's. Overlord does get taken out. Ah, that sucks for Reynor. Does lose a bit of vision out front. That's unfortunate. His Zergling. Oh, he gets in. He gets in. And look at that. He sees a lair. He sees a second gas there. Starts focusing down a drone. Isn't quite able to kill it. Zergling does walk in, but doesn't get to see much. So Serral, I don't think he knows about the lair of Reynor. And indeed, that is a lair that is very similarly timed. 3 roaches coming out for Serral. Can he maybe push out and force a response? Act like he's, you know, rallying out? Because it's such a small map. If he moves forward with his Lingbane, shows the roaches walking behind it, Reynor might think that's the front of an actual push and overreact. Oh my god, he's doing it. Serral's done this a few times in this tournament. He did it in game 1, remember, on Pride of Altaris. He shows the roaches, but then he pulls back immediately. And that's a little bit weird. Oh, I really thought he could get a panic reaction out of Reynor. Reynor already going to six gases. Wow, Reynor, so confident. Okay, this is what he's looking for. Ow! Oh, no, 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 no. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, does kind of run his Zerglings into the Baneling a little sloppy. 8 more drones on the way. Serral was a little slower to saturate these 3 bases. You can see the gases are already mining for Reynor. And they're both at 66 workers apiece. Overlord spreading on both sides. Ling's going to go off as little separate squads for harassment and scouting. Overseer's morphing on both sides of the map, or at least only on Serral's side, in fact. Reynor's not really focused on the scout. And there we go. Ling's going to finally find some damage. Oh, Baneling saves the drone. Nicely done. Not a single drone goes down. Second Evo Chamber goes down for Serral. We're going to see +2 attack and then +1 armor kick in. +2 attack does take a bit longer to start as it is a +2 upgrade. +2 already starts for Reynor. He's going to play single Evo Chamber. The longer this goes, the Carapace will give you value. Serral starts, Carapace cancels it, starts 2-1 at the same time. And both sides neck and neck. You can see here a couple roaches advantage, a little bit of a supply advantage for Reynor. That's the early lead he built for himself. He's building a spine crawler here just as a little bit of insurance. Just in case he does get caught by a big old push, he's starting the quicker 4th base. Let's go to Reynor's vision one more time. So we're going to go to Reynor's camera, get inside his mindset just a little bit here. And he's going to drop a Spire, so he's going to try to get some mutas out, but I don't like that call. And actually, did he just cancel that? He thought about dropping a Spire and he chose not to. Okay, that's interesting. And I think it's way better to not. It's way too late in the game. By the time the Spire finishes, you're both going to be maxed out. Mutas are not so useful once you're both maxed out. It'll deny your opponent's vision and not much else. Overlord speed on the way for Serral right now. Overseer for Reynor trying to get some information. 4th base a little slower for Serral, but not that much. And now the Spire goes down. So Reynor just says, yeah, let's get it. And I don't know if I like it, man. I really think in this scenario, squeezing out a Hydrodan, a Lurker down, an Infestation Pit is probably the better way to go. I said the Spire was a bit late earlier. Now it's going to finish well after they're maxed out. And that's really shit, honestly. Mutas can pick off Overlords. If he builds 2 or 3 to deny vision, I'm totally down with it. If he builds more than 5, I'm going to heavily dislike it. Because the thing is, check it out. I mean, he's already naturally going towards Hydras. Tunneling Claws and Burrow is on the way for Serral as well. He could start droning his 4th in the near future. Roaches in the main. There's a Spore going up for Reynor. Now, that's interesting. A Spore Crawler. I think that was specifically to try and deny this Overseer Scout, but not going to be able to do so. Serral sees the Spire. He'll hide in the back of the base there. And Roaches looking forward like they want to move out for Reynor. Both sides are maxing out in a moment. 177 versus 174 supply. Serral in the lead there. Both sides are still just at the 68 worker count. Tunneling Claws is on the way. Reynor, does he have a forward Overseer? He does not. He's got Overlords everywhere. Patrol paths to make sure they don't get hit by Overseer, by Corrosive Biles. A Roach drop is going to go into the main. 11 Mutalisks for Reynor. That's very surprising. The final units, and they will be able to pick off Ravages and Overlords. Don't get me wrong, it's annoying to play against this as Serral. It's actually very annoying to play against this. But he does already have 2-1 Carapace, plus 2-1 upgrades, which includes the Carapace. Massive Roach advantage for Serral. Reynor, where is your Roach count? Reynor, hello! Lots of Roaches hanging out in his main and natural. A really great fight for Serral. But, uh-oh, he's getting flanked. He does need to get out of there. I think he stayed a little bit too long. He's going to pull back, and that is a very good pullback for Serral there. The Mutas are going to make that a little costly if they focus down the Ravages, which I'm sure they will. It's going just for the weak Roaches right now. Reynor with a little bit of disorganization. You can tell these Mutas are not on their own control group. There we go. He's got 2 Mutas on a different control group hunting down Overlords, as well as these 9 Mutas going after the Ravages. He does lose one to the Hydralisks there. That's a bummer. 4 Roaches drop in the main for Serral. Units lost tab is in favor of Serral. The start of that Roach fight was just too good for him. Not great for Reynor. The Queens are starting to go down. You do not want to lose these Queens, because then the Roaches can just hop back in that Overlord and fly around all day long. It's kind of like using Marines in a medevac. If you don't have any Queens nearby, they can drop, they can drip, they can drip, they can drop, drip, drop, drip, drop. It's like a leaky faucet that you do not want dripping into your base. It's effing annoying is what it is. Roaches split to deal with that one, but another attack on the front. And Serral, he's got groove spines. He doesn't have the move speed for the Hydras. They're a little slow to get there. That's why this is a bit dangerous. I do think he's got to be careful with how he engages, but with the extra range and damage output on those Hydras, that's going to be big. Roaches get back inside the main base. Reynor's in trouble. He's hanging on for his dear life. This Hydra concave is so scary. Reynor's trying to survive right now, but Serral's picking him apart with the Roach drops and the Hydras and the Ravages on the front. If he can kill this 4th, which he will, that's going to be a massive win for Serral. The Roach drop, I think the bottom one did die. Top one, I think also died. We've got 1 Roach unburrowing in the natural. He'll kill a drone and then burrow and hide. And Serral being a massive nuisance. Units lost tab, you can see 3,000 resources ahead. Just look at the Roach killed count. He's killed 45 Roaches for just 40, not to mention a few Mutas have gone down. And he's killed a few of these drones off Reynor as well, which is why that Roach count is so close. +2 carapace, Hydra upgrades, Infestation Pit. Serral will be working his way into the late game if he's given enough time. Roaches do get caught by an Overseer. Another Overseer runs in. Is he going to contaminate the upgrade? That would be juicy. Serral, though, very low hit points on this Overseer. And Roaches pull him out of position. Oh, this time it's Reynor's turn to find just a small section of the army on its own. Nice biles spreading across the Roach Hydra, but it does feel like with the Hydras, with the extra upgrades, Serral is able to take a pretty good fight. Baited into the biles, though. Reynor still here in this game fighting. He's got his 4th base rebuilding. That base he's transferred most of his workers to. Serral, though, he's had an uninterrupted 4th this whole time. He's oversaturated on his gas. He does fix that as we notice it. Corrosive biles landing, but not really hitting the army. They just kind of force a spread, force a disengage, and that's it. Mutas flying around the backside, trying to find more of these units. Remember, this was a pretty big commitment of 11 Mutalisks in this game for Reynor, and they haven't really done the work. Biles still landing for Reynor, though. He is the Ravager King. We've seen him make so many comebacks versus Terran versus Protoss with Ravagers. Can he do it against a Zerg that's packing a large force of Hydralisks? If the Biles land, absolutely. But if they don't, you've got to remember each Ravager costs 3 supply and a lot more money than a Hydralisk. So every Ravager that dies is incredibly costly. Whereas a Hydra that dies, 50 gas, it's not too bad. A Ravager 100 gas, way, 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 way worse. Roaches burrowing into the back. Another Queen goes down. She does get it off and inject before she goes down. The Natural's being cleaned up. Natural. Oh, he doesn't leave anything there. That Roach will unburrow and be a dickhead later. Reynor does go back, cleans it up. That's very nice. Now, the Mutas here, 10 drone kills. This is really well done by Reynor. He's starting to damage Serral's economy and drag his way back into this game. Arse first. He is just getting back into this game despite the big economic damage. The Hydras are still scary. Where is this push going? Oh, it's kind of scary, man. That arc from Serral's just too good. And remember the firepower of the Hydras. The 10 Hydras in the back, they've got extra range, 6 range, 14 damage, and they shoot way faster than a Roach. A Roach shoots once every 1.5 seconds. A Hydralisk gets almost 3 attacks off in that time. So even though it does a little bit less base damage, its effective damage per second is about double, even a bit more than that, I believe, of a Roach. And with the extra range, they will fire very well from the back lane. Now, the Ravagers have 6 range as well, but remember, they're so chunky, it's hard to form a proper battle line because they take up so much space and their damage output is just so low. Lurkers on the bottom, Reynor dives in. He does get a few drones here, but he could get cornered, kill the drones, and run away has got to be the way to do it. Tries to get a Lurker, is not quite able to get the damage, and he pulls on out. Roach Ravager on the north, though. If you could bile that Lurker, that would be big. He spreads across the Roaches, doesn't quite land enough biles on the Lurker. It's doing big damage. Reynor gets inside and corners himself. All of his Ravagers falling. A huge misstep. I think seeing those Lurkers panicked him, not to mention it looks like more. Oh my god, a Lurker. There's a Lurker in there, guys. A Lurker of Serral has burrowed in the back of Reynor's base. It's causing havoc right now. And Serral, he's building more Hydras. The hive is still not done. desperately in need of Vipers for blinding Cloud is Reynor, but he's just lost all of his roaches, which means he can no longer hold this army back. Throwing away those roaches by pushing in too deep was a terrible move, because now Serral is able to bring his force to bear. The Lurkers moving forth across the map. A massive tech advantage. Not only the Hydras, but now the Lurkers, and look at the spread on them. You can't ever bile more than one of these at a time, and Serral is so methodical at trying to dodge. Finally, a Lurker does get hit by a few biles, but even then it's not dead. The roaches and the Hydras once again on top of Reynor's fourth base. Reynor hanging on for dear life in this World Championship. He does not want to go down. 100,000 bucks on the line. Takes out two of the Lurkers with some nicely placed biles, but there's so many more Lurkers behind that. Serral is down on the economy in terms of workers, but he just killed the fourth base, and that means that once again Reynor is down in the dumps in that regard. Serral pulling back. Does he have seismic spines? He does have 10 range Lurkers. He does not have the adaptive talons. There we go, it kicks in. The Lurkers are much faster now. Roach run by comes in for Reynor, a desperate backstab for him. Nice burrow on the drones. Serral doing what Twitch chat has been asking for years. Why don't you just burrow your drones, avoid the harassment? That's exactly why he made burrow in this game. Does actually come in handy for that reason, as much as I make fun. And this is fantastic, because now Serral, look at his army, guys. 3 Lurkers, 10 more coming. That's going to be a 13 Lurker push. He hasn't bothered with Vipers, because he says, I've just got so many better units than you. And Reynor, he's got his first 2 Vipers, desperately trying to grab the energy for those. The thing is, 2 Vipers against 13 Lurkers, if he abducts, he can only kill 4 Lurkers. That's not enough. There's still 9 left. And if he Blinding Clouds, will he be able to actually kill the Lurkers before the Blinding Cloud wears off, or if the Lurkers simply move out? And that's a beautiful catch. Dude, Reynor just killed like 4 Lurkers there. That was awesome. He's up to 8 Lurker kills, and he's just got his Vipers out. Does need more energy on him. He's got a 3rd Viper, actually. 3 Vipers. Does need more energy, though. He's got Blinding Clouds ready. I think he's running forward, looking to take a fight. But look at this. Lurker on the defense, keeping his roaches zoned out. It's so intense right now. Serral, will he lose some more roaches? The roaches of Reynor do take down another Lurker and almost a second one there, but he's getting cornered. Do not want to lose these roaches. Tries to focus another one down, but that burrow is so quick with the adaptive talons. The roaches, they're all going to die, man. They do run past the Lurkers. We see a quick little pause there. And, the roaches are going to run on forwards into the Hydras. Lurker harassment behind the base one more time. An absolute pain in the ass there for Mr. Reynor. Reynor's got +3 on the way. His 3 Vipers are still not maxed on energy. I think that's a huge mistake. You could have 6 Blinding Clouds if you max them on energy, and that would be massive. These roaches do get caught. Reynor with his burrow, but lack of movement speed. Not going to help him out there very much. And here we go. He's going to attack. Oh, does start abducting. Oh, very nice. This is really good trading on the other side of the map. He should pull back, get energy now. He should absolutely just pull back, get energy. But he's got to watch out in case more harassment comes on the top. A big Roach Ravager squad could pull him home. And then if the Lurkers push on the south, I mean, this is actually doable for Reynor. He doesn't have Lurkers yet. And obviously that's a huge problem. He's just started this Hydra Den. So if he ever loses his Vipers, like, he can't really engage a big Lurker army. But right now he's doing so darned well, dude. He's actually fighting his way back into it. He kept damaging the economy with the Mutas and the Roaches, and he's got his way back into this game. It's a scary moment, though. He does not want to push into that many Lurkers. That would not be a good call. Parasitic Bomb on an Overlord. That may be the silliest thing I've ever seen. Reynor, I get you. You're very instinctive and intuitive. You do not want to be wasting energy on that. Corrosive Biles actually land on a few of those units. But the 5 Vipers now of Serral being such a nuisance to deal with. These Vipers need to get more energy. Roaches on the top get deflected. Reynor unable to find a way in right now. And you do not want to be parasitic bombing the Overlords. He's just struggling to land Corrosive Biles. He wants to deny Serral's vision so badly. He should just spray Biles in a bit of a spread around that pattern and hope that he can catch it. Anyway, the Lurker is still here on the top. He's just going to click it. Runs in, kills the Lurker, runs away. Blinding Cloud defensively for Serral. Makes sure he does continue to retreat. 3 more Vipers on the way. Serral's going to 8 Vipers against 3. And this Hydra's building for Reynor, but he doesn't have any Lurkers yet, mate. He's got to make a Lurker Den. Otherwise, Serral's just going to be able to shove on him. The problem is the tech unit number is just way too high. 9 Lurkers, 19 Hydras, 8 Vipers. Everything's going to get Blinding Clouded. The difference is going to be the fact that Serral has 10 Lurkers left when the Blinding Cloud's clear, and Reynor has none. His Roaches are not high enough damage units. This is going to be a really big problem. Here we go. Serral's going to run forward. Oh my god, speaking of running forward. And the Roaches go for a counterattack. They take out one lurker. Can they take out another? Great pullback by Serral. Serral's whole army trying to retreat. He's trying to get back over here to hang on. Is he going to be able to do it? The Overseers do all get taken out. He does try to bile the lurker, but dude, the burrow-unburrow speed is absolutely disgusting. It's way too quick, man. He's biling him down, and they're like, nah, we just move. Nah, we just move. It's like a siege unit that also doesn't really have to siege if you're quick enough with your hands. And I'll tell you what, Serral's damned well quick enough with his hands. He's a boss, he's a beast, he's a Chad gamer. And Reynor, well, he's been a champion himself, but his Lurker Den has just started. He's felt so desperate to do it in this low economy situation. He's still on mostly Roaches against one of the most juiced up armies you've ever seen. Mass, Lurker, Viper, Hydra, the Blinding Clouds go down for Serral. He takes out the Vipers, the Overseers, anything he can get his hands on. He has so much energy, and he is, like I said, just juiced to the gills. He's absolutely stacked up on energy. The energy is literally bleeding out of the nostrils of these Vipers. They're just like, let us at him. The Lurkers ready with their spines to shove him up the butts of the Roaches of Reynor. The Lurkers up here still keeping back the Roach run by. Reynor's trying to use his inferior tech but superior mobility to catch Serral out of position, and Serral's just not giving him the opportunity, mate. He's just not giving him the opportunity. The Roaches trying to run on in here. He gets one Lurker, but look, Serral's always on top of him. He grabs two Lurkers and gets out of there. I don't know how he does it, but he does pay a hefty price. The Hydras and the Lurkers close in, and Reynor, he's been buying so much time with these Roach squads. He's trying to get back up to 6 Vipers. He still needs to get the Lurker upgrades. Reynor's so active with his army. He's trying to force mistakes out of Serral, and Serral, the Rock, just refusing to budge. Reynor has done this to players before, where he outpositions them, outmaneuvers them, runs circles around them, and gets back into games that he has no business winning. But Serral so far is blocking him at every turn. The army once again returns home to block the Roaches. The other army in the north kills the hatchery. Reynor has made miraculous comebacks before, but he's being forced into a slow and methodical late game. But he's not there yet. His Lurk attack's just starting, and Serral says, time to go, dickhead. Let's fight! He's going to push on the Mass Lurker, Viper, Hydra. He's going to shove on into the bases. The Ravagers, the Abducts going down. We've got Vipers getting pulled into their death. Lurkers and Vipers are just in mass here for Serral. He's got so many numbers. Oh my god! Bile takes out a Lurker and 3 Vipers. A big snipe there for Reynor, but what's he got, mate? He's got a few Vipers. He's mostly on Roach Hydra, and most importantly, he's got no space to work with. His 4th base goes down here for the 3rd time in this game. His Ravagers, Roaches, and Hydras are taking Lurker splashies, and oh my god, his army's crumbling. There's too many Lurkers. His Blinding Clouds a little bit too late to the party. The Mass Hydra Lurker of Serral stands strong, and the superior attack does win in the end. Reynor bought himself so much time, but he needed to be taking up to the Lurkers quicker behind it. If he did, he could have stalled that game out, dragged it to the late game, and he may have been able to resurrect himself, but he was going for the Roach run around, the circling attempts to get back behind him and win that game, and Serral just blocked him and blocked him and blocked him, and at a certain point he said, Jesus Christ, kid, do you ever die? And he finally managed to get it with the Lurker Hydra push across the map. Beautiful game and a beautiful series. Serral wins 4-3 in the end, and he becomes the 2021-22 World Championship season champion. World champion. The 2021-22 season world champion. I speak words good when I'm excited after casting the best ZvZ in a long time. These guys always deliver, and Serral fought so damned hard for that. Hats off to him. GG, well played, you absolute mad lad.